Happy February 9th, 2020. I'm here to do your reading for the week. I'm going to pick 3 cards, lay them down flat. We'll read them for advice at the end. I've picked the native spirit because of the full moon today in Leo this morning. We're on the other side of it now. Other movements since last we spoke, and sorry I was MIA last week. I started editing on my project and I was just really wanted to give my 100% attention to that. But Venus went into Aries last week, and Mercury entered into its shadow phase. It will be going retrograde on the 17th, but I think it was the 4th or 5th. It entered into its shadow phase. So up until the 4th, from I think it was like January 10th, from January 10th until February 4th, all of the planets were direct. And so anything you like seeds that you planted there, those are the ones like that have all of the push of the universe behind it. And then we'll be going through the year and revising and you know, dotting I's and crossing T's. But that's really in my opinion, the richest part of the year, where I try and get as much stuff, like ground laid on as much stuff as possible, because it's kind of a blessed time. Anyway, let me shut up here. Oh, I do want to say this. Mercury's in Pisces, as we know. My Mercury is in Pisces, which is making me a little more ADHD than normal. So I will try my hardest to concentrate, because otherwise God only knows where my brain's going to go. All right. 3 cards, please. Face down for Aries advice for the week of February 9th. 3 cards face down. 3 cards face down. Okay, and I picked this deck. I like this deck for the moons, and since there's a full moon today, I thought it'd be perfect. Face down. 1 more card, please. One more card face down for Aries advice. Wait, I'll take the top one. I also think I'm going to do this Friday, Valentines Day, for fun, do a live session where we pick cards. Kind of like we'll do love advice. Also because it's on a Friday, so that's Venus's day. So I think that'll be fun. And then thank you to the people who ordered the daily readings for the first half of February. I'll have the second half of February up on Friday as well. And there will be links in the description box for all that. I'll take this, but let me get one more. Aries, energy for Aries week of February 9th. Let's see what we got here. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this came out before when I was shuffling. And they're both in that gray area. So there's creation and rejection at the same time. So you may be getting some feedback on something you've been working on. You may be worried about feedback about something you're working on, right? Because there's those ghosts whispering into your ear. And really, actually, what the ghosts are doing is trying to inspire you. So it seems to me like they're 2 faces of the same coin. That they're both channeling, or they're both focused on making something, or focused on expression, like how to express themselves. One is listening to the wrong voices instead of trusting their intuition that's coming from the divine, right? Now this is, and you see sort of the 2 different environments. This is a very natural environment. She's connected with the trees, with nature. There's the full moon there. You may have gotten some advice at this full moon, or some intuitions at this full moon. And it's in stark contrast to this sort of institutional setting, right? Where he's like, I don't know if I'm doing what I'm supposed to, or are they going to be worried? Am I good enough? maybe comparing himself to other people or listening to the expectations of others that are within this confined box, as opposed to her sort of being in this kind of free space where she's channeling all of the power of nature. You see, this guy's like in a confined space where he's letting the pressures of the past worry him, whereas she's open to receiving from a much higher, much freer energetic space. So it seems to me like these are kind of your two options of where you could be in terms of whatever it is that you're working on, whatever you're trying to manifest, whatever you're trying to figure out that you want to do with your creative spirit. If you find yourself in a space where you're freaking out because it's not good enough, you don't have enough talent, you don't have enough money, you don't have this, you don't have that. What this card says is, you see how, let me see if I can get this light there. You see how she holds the jewel in her hand, right? And that jewel is connected to the divine, because the cloud of smoke or energy that comes off of it is what envelops the rest of the world and sort of infuses the space around her. But she holds that gift, you know, it's only, let's say it's a rock, except that it's charged with divine energy, which makes it a gift. So this guy's worried about, is it good enough? Am I going to be good enough? And really, it's more about trusting that which you have in your hands has been blessed from a higher power, right? That it is your gift to bring to the world, as opposed to worrying about what the old masters, what the old generation, what the old thinking is trying, you know, is going to say about it. So if you're and this kind of reminds me of like a Hierophant energy, like if you're worried about what the powers that be are going to say about something that you're trying to execute, this suggests that you go into a more open, free-flowing, get into that Mercury Pisces, right? That's where it's really, when it channels, if you try and reach into information from your rational mind, it's going to hear all of the critiques and all the why nots. If you channel from the skies, and I think I said this last time for the people who have Mercury and Pisces, like to connect with either looking out the window or looking at a body of water or connecting somehow with nature. That's when Mercury and Pisces really gets its strongest intuitions. That's where your knowledge needs to come from right now. Now, I'm going to take that card too. Apparently, two cards want to come out all the time. But can I get another card for the challenge, please, for Aries, week of... Okay. So the challenge is the Emperor. Oh, crazy. Emperor and Hermit, right? So these are your two energies again. Which one do you want to embody, right? And this is, I was going to say, this is such a Virgo card, and there he is. So it's like you can pick and choose your energy this week. Do you want to be in the Virgo space or you want to be in the Emperor space, right? Because this Emperor, and it says it's a rebel, right? So obviously it's trying to challenge the status quo. Somewhere, something you're doing is trying to challenge the status quo. And it doesn't have to be gigantic. It could be just a simple, like, rethinking of how you've done things in the past. Some sort of break from the way you've been behaving in the past, perhaps breaking a cycle, breaking chains. There's those chains that are coming, breaking free from a way of thinking, forging a new path. And that path can lead you to the light or to the darkness, you know? So it's sort of like, be careful of what you allow into your mind and into your energy, because you're going to want to stay channeled into these two spaces, right? Being okay with being different this week, or being okay with looking at things in a different way, being okay with not accepting what the past has dictated. And that can be in terms of behavior, it can be in terms of rules, it can be in terms of situations, advice, other people. It's very much about, the thing with the rebels is they have to kind of trust themselves, because what they're doing is going against the grain. And so they don't have anybody to offer them confirmation. And I just saw the Imagine card. So we don't get confirmation that we're doing something that's awesome because nobody's done it before. And that can feel very lonesome, can it? Sometimes being an Aries is shitty because nobody gets it because you're so ahead of what everyone else is doing. And so that can be the downside to wanting to push forward, is that it means that, you have to feel alone for a little bit, that people can't keep up. They eventually catch up, but they can't keep up. Saws. That's just the way it is. It's a blessing and a curse. But, so don't get down on that side of the energy. Sometimes breaking free from whatever requires a moment of being different, of being, feeling isolated, but knowing that it's like you don't have a choice. Okay, so here's the leg up. Now this is about, I didn't ask, so I'm going to get another card because one is falling and one's not. So this is about getting the help that you need, right? About finding somebody who, and look, there's those like older generations, right? Young and new. So something new, giving a chance to see the light. Let me get one more card, please. Energy for week of February 9th. What's the energy for the week of February 9th? So giving space to the new, letting the new shine on the back of the old. Okay, so both those animals. And the fact that you are shedding that skin may cause chaos and conflict. And that's a 33 and a 34, right? So it's a natural progression that the chaos and the conflict actually is what leads to this new energy being lifted higher, right? It's almost like through the chaos and the conflict, through other people's rejection, it's almost like we get fortified, right? And so even if like other people have to say something about whatever it is that you want to do that's different, that's not the status quo, that's different than has been done in the past, that is a new idea, that is like a refreshing way to look at something on the shoulders of giants. Somehow this sense of conflict helps you break the shell that in order for you to be able to climb up to that next level. Very interesting. Nice though. So it's like, it's like the chick coming through the egg. You have to fight a little if you want to. That's how they get out. If you open the egg for the chick, they die because they need the strength from doing so. Same as the butterfly. So it's in this struggle. So wherever you're getting, and look, remember I was saying we don't get a lot of encouragement because we're always so far ahead of it. So this reading is your encouragement right here. And there's all these like cute little mommy and baby animals. So I was going to say, where are we at the beginning of the week? And this is the card that came up. Let's see where we are at the end of the week. Can I get the energy for the end of the week, please? Yeah, so this is a little nurturing. Maybe your family can be a source of nurturing. If they're not, mine are not, for example, stay away. Or if they are a source of, let's say, nutritional chaos and conflict that push you into being more secure. Nice. Wide open, because that's where we're going. So it's like this. This is that same energy right there. Nice. And it's about taking a leap, you know, seeing the possibilities. You see how they, you know, it can drag you into the darkness or the light can show you actually what's all in there. So again, take anybody's challenges, conflict, whatever, lack of support as fire to help you break those chains, fire to confirm that you're on the right path, that helps you light. Use that as fire to help you light, to see the possibilities. Again, if your family or you have someone who is a source of encouragement, spend some time with them. If not, take this reading as your encouragement to find whatever that creative thing that new thing that you're trying to bring into life. Again, can be from the most banal to a brand new company. Whatever you're trying to do that's new, don't give up. And don't succumb to people trying to keep you down. Or don't use the worry as benzina, as gas, like in the car, as energy. Let it pilot you forward. Like transmute. See how those shadows? Transmute those shadows into something that pilots you as opposed to something that envelops you. All right, I'm going to get 3 more cards here. Three cards, please, for Aries, week of February 9th. But it's interesting how there's like a yin and a yang, a black and a white to everything, right? There's this aloneness with the rebel. There's the rejection that comes with creation. And these guys always travel together, right? There has to be a dark to the light. This is the shadow side. And this may actually feed into that Mercury story that we were saying, right? These are the shadows. We're in the shadow period. So these are the shadow energies of the things you're trying to create, because there's all like new, free, and then challenge that comes with it. But that challenge is really there to encourage you and to open you up. Okay. So there's that aloneness that we could be feeling. Let me get 2 more cards. Okay. Yikes. And you may have to walk away from something. Let's see what else. Yeah. All right, I see it. All right, 1 more card, please, for Aries. Yeah, because you got to walk away. You have to leave this behind. So this is the thing, breaking free, creating something new, getting a leg up, moving forward, seeing the future possibilities. But to get there, got to go through this first. It made you unhappy. You see, it's all going in the same direction, right? It made you unhappy, 5 to the 8. So it moves up enough and you move on and walk away from it. It's like in this one, this is kind of a stuck. I think 5 of Pentacles is like one of the absolute worst energies in the entire tarot, because those people look just miserable and they're stuck there, right? But the 8 of Cups is not stuck. The 8 of Cups is resolute and is moving forward. 1 more card, please, for Aries. Energy for the week of... Okay. Woohoo. And there we go. Full moon. And there's the 9 of Pentacles. Right? So moves forward. But that's the reward, right? So if you were here, Moon reveals something, patterns, secrets, things you didn't know, things coming up, things coming to light. So you may be getting some news at this, or it may just be your intuition, right? You're finally listening to your intuition, the shadow, listening to what the shadow has to say. But then here's where it goes, right? So this is, you started off at the 5 of Pentacles and you end up at the 9 of Pentacles. Why? Because at the revelation of the moon that the moon brings, and we'll see what these cards say, that'll be interesting, you make the very wise choice that like, nah, I'm moving forward, getting a leg up, gonna create my own thing, breaking free. So this is a very big week in terms of your movement forward. And then it's like, you see, look at how cool. So there it is. It walks to the top of the mountain, and there she is at the top of the mountain like this, right? So it's not the moment of destitution. Remember I said this here. It's like this chaos and this conflict, this feeling of rejection, this loneliness. It's fuel to push you out of this space, to encourage you. Look, it's nudging, it's nudging you to see this misery for what it is and to walk away from it, shed light on the situation, where the patterns are, why this keeps repeating, that this cycle has come to an end and it's time to get out, time to make something new, and time to just like bask in your riches, right? She's got her gift there. She's surrounded by her gifts. So whatever this is, that this newness is, that's going to involve you walking away from something, breaking free from a past, leaving, and somehow embracing the rejection, the chaos, and the aloneness in order to pilot yourself into a whole completely different space where the world is like at your feet. Very, very nice cards. Love it. Oh, I forgot a general advice card. Hold on, let me get another deck. Be right back. Okay, I'm going to do the Crystal Mandala Oracle from Alana Fairchild. The descriptions are long. I'm not going to lie. But I had an intuition I should have used it before, and I left it behind. So just because, you know why? Oh, yeah. Okay. So I saw this before, and I wanted to pick it up, and I didn't. And then when I just went into my room to get them, I was like, yeah, I'll use that one. And a gem in her hand, right? So that's what I want to tap into. So what advice, please, for Aries, week of February 9th, 2020. Week of February 9th, 2020. One card for advice, please, for Aries. Oh, I'll take that. Oh, amazing. Okay, so the card is the Crossroad of Destiny. And it's a 42. Okay, and there's the 42, the wide open. It's the goddess Hecate and Mika. Now, Micah. There's a singer named Mika, but I had a friend from high school. His name is Micah. So whichever one you prefer. Let's read what this has to say. So, we bring you the empowerment of the Crossroad of Destiny. You are at a pivotal point on your life journey. This may be obvious to you with a potentially life-changing decision before you. Ooh, exciting. Or you may not realize the impact that an apparently insignificant choice is going to have on your future. Either way, you are at a point where you can leave the past behind and chart your course for a new adventurous chapter to begin in your life. This is not something you need to be frightened of. It's a sign you are progressing on your path. The crossroad of destiny happens when you have mastered a cycle in your life and a new cycle is before you. It's an opportunity that you can take best advantage of by listening to your heart. Remember I said don't tap into the head, tap into the intuition. Okay, so there's a certain comfort in familiarity. The world you've been living in has some sort of boundary, some degree of predictability and certain things. People or situations you can rely upon to behave in peculiar ways. You can rely on to behave in particular ways. Sorry, this is my Mercury in Pisces, right? Doesn't want to read. These familiarities can be a way you choose to feel secure, even if you know deep within that life is always evolving, and so are you. And things need to change to stay fresh, healthy, and inspired. The truth is that familiarity doesn't really create security. Your mind may like to think it does, but it's an illusion. All things change in time. That is natural law. What you and your mind need to remember is that you can choose to feel secure even through changing circumstances that lead you towards an unknown world. That unknown world will eventually become known to you with its boundaries and some degree of predictability and familiarity until, again, change knocks at your door and you are facing another crossroads in your life, needing to make decisions that will affect your future. Okay, so I'm just going to jump through to certain paragraphs here. So it says, although you can rely on logic and analysis, remember we talked about that Virgo energy, and perhaps you wish to start there if you are so inclined, it is through listening to your heart, the inner knowing and voice of intuition within, that will bring you the most joyful experience. You can either play it safe or play it true. The heart will guide you to truth. The choice might scare you at first, or you might feel excited about what you feel your heart is asking you to do. Your mind may not understand and therefore create doubt, but the heart has its own wise genius beyond compare. It is the vehicle through which the divine plan is felt, and it is your flawless inner compass. Amazing. Okay, so this oracle comes to you with a message. Let all your choices come from your heart. If it feels right for your heart and there is joy there, even if you have to search beneath all the what if something goes wrong fears of the mind to find it, then do it. If you have recently made such a decision and are waiting to see if the sky is going to fall in on top of you, this oracle affirms that you have crossed the threshold into a new way and that it is time to leave the fears of the past behind you now. Amazing. Okay. Trying to see if there's anything useful here. All right, so here's a little mantra or thing it gives to say. So here, I'll show you this picture. You can screenshot it if you want, because it says to hold this oracle in your mind and say, I choose of my own free will through this and any lifetime and through all layers of my entire being to release any experience and associated belief system based on fear of hearing and acting on my heart guidance. I trust in the divine plan for me as it shows itself in the crossroad of destiny in my life. Through divine empowerment and unconditional love, so be it. Okay, that's very lovely. I love it when they tie together like that. It's my favorite thing. All right, so let's get into these other cards here for which ones you picked. And you know, it's interesting. Remember I said before that they kept wanting to come out in twos, right? And that's why, because it's really a crossroads moment. So that's very exciting. And here's, like I said, here's that encouragement that you need. And here, this guy was left alone right there. So I'll just pop that there for a second. Anyway, so let's read this one. This is, oh my God, I swear to God, this card fell out 3 times when I was shuffling it before. It's called Gathering Your Tribe. Now let me read it for you. I was gonna say when I was shuffling, let's see if the Gathering Your Tribe card falls out, because it literally came out 3 times. Card message: you are loved and you are lovable. You deserve love. Support in all forms is flowing to you. You can relax. There is so much love around you. Communicate from your heart. Share your truth. You are safe. Diminish your time with those who do not empower you or believe in you. Your native spirit wants you to know, if the gathering your tribe card chooses you, this means that sustenance in all forms is flowing into your life. Your people are those who resonate with you. Your people can include animals, plants, minerals, and trees, as well as people. So that's that. Be willing to ask for what you want in life. This is the time to put your needs before the needs of others. Your tribe is waiting to support and nurture you as you nurture yourself. Sometimes your friends are more your family than your blood relatives. Find your people and cherish them. Your vibes attract your tribe. Nice. And then it says, spend time with friends and family members who see the best in you. Don't spend time with dream stompers. Take classes, share meals, take time to find your people. You will live longer and be happier. Goodness. All right, so this one is the medicine woman, medicine man. Let's see what that means. Okay. So this says, sorry, I'm trying to get it where there's no glare. Profound inner and outer healing is occurring. You're a natural healer. You're on the mend, and or a situation is being resolved. Have faith that it's happening. You are a sacred healer. You are a medicine woman, medicine man of the soul. Your native spirit wants you to know that every indigenous culture has a tradition of healers. Depending on the culture, they're called medicine men, medicine women, shamans, tahangas, kahunas, sangomas, or curanderos. Sorry if I pronounced any of those wrong. Among others. In every tradition, they're the individuals who are able to step between worlds to gain information, wisdom, and healing energies from their spirit allies. When this card chooses you, you're at the advent of healing emotional, physical, and mental wounds. Additionally, a powerful healing force is activating within you. The journey says, nature is one of our greatest healers, so spend time with the trees, soak up the rays of the sun, and dance in the rain. Everything in nature has the intrinsic ability to restore itself. You're a part of the natural world, so you also have this innate ability. Often healing needs to occur on the inner planes before it can manifest on the outside. To assist this process, focus on what's great and let go of what isn't working. Hold a vision of the solution that you desire. Be patient and trust that recovery is occurring in its own time and way. Very nice. And then finally, we have the peace pipe. All right, let's see what's there. Okay, so the peace pipe says, heal old wounds with people and situations. Carefully do whatever you need to make amends. Forgive yourself or forgive others. It's time. You no longer need to carry the burden. You are a mender. Help others mend bridges in their lives. You bring peace to the world. Your native spirit wants you to know, in native traditions, sharing a peace pipe filled with sacred tobacco and herbs was a way of finding common ground and dropping discord. It was a respite in order to calmly assess a situation and find a peaceful resolve. There are times to drop everything and leave. There are also times to carefully mend bridges with people, situations, and places. This is one of those healing times. So I wonder if this is for people who are trying to have things with their family that they actually want to fix. That maybe there's a peaceful solution. I'll give you a piece of advice my shrink once gave me. He said, if your family's toxic, stay as far away from them as possible. If your family's healthy, spend as much time with them as possible. So he said, anyway, maybe there's a wound inside you that needs to be forgiven or accepted. Maybe you need to forgive yourself or forgive another. Transform the inner grievance. Do it now. You don't need to forgive the act, but there's power in forgiving the person. Yes. You no longer need to carry it with you. And maybe that's also the breaking free, right? And this moving away from some sort of family hurt, or moving away from feeling destitute into feeling psychologically rich, feeling free. And it may be that there could be some family thing that needs to get healed here, something with brothers or mothers, something you tried to walk away from but it keeps showing up again. And so it's talking about the encouragement to move out of this place of destitution and into a place of sort of psychological richness, where you feel your finest self, as opposed to holding on to this energy, that perhaps let's go the other way, where there is a chance for making up, if this is your story, if you have a shitty family and you don't want to make up with them, again, you can forgive them, but you don't necessarily have to deal with it. Letting go. So that could be one of the things of letting go, because that came up in the February reading, right? To let it go, to get the world, to walk away from, to free oneself. So there's something that needs to get left behind, and it may be family drama. Okay, so here is the journey. Write down the answer to these questions. If there was an area of my life to which I need to bring peace, what might it be? What's the first step that I need to take towards resolving a rift with another, or a feeling unfinished regarding a person or situation? Then take action. Okay, cool. So, wow. So pretty intense energy. I said there wasn't much happening, but there's not much happening, because it looks like we have everything that we need to. It's just a matter of that letting go, being willing to walk away from something else. Now, I actually want to give you a personal story, because, again, sometimes we think like, well, I don't have relationship to walk away from, I don't have a job to walk away from, I don't have this, so it doesn't resonate with me. It can actually be things that are very small. I have been changing my diet for the past few months to try and figure out what it is that's been bothering me. And I gave up everything. I mean, everything. The only thing I refused to give up was coffee. And I had to, because ultimately I was feeling like every time I drank coffee, like it was the last hurdle. And so I finally walked away from it. And within 2 days, like almost instantly, within 2 days, my face changed, my body changed, like everything changed. So it can be something really basic and boring and banal, but there is something that needs to be let go of, that you need to break free from. An idea that perhaps you've rejected up until now. But it is the chaos and the conflict that helps you look for the solution. Like I said, this is the chaos, and the conflict is the motor that gets you to seek to look at the situation from a different level, that's to help you to level up, to seek new advice, to seek assistance. And this tells us that we're really in a major choice point moment right now, especially with that Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter squaring our sign. So at some point, and since they're covering pretty much all three of the decans, your sun or whatever planet you have in Aries is definitely going to get hit by it somehow. And that is the choice when it's square to Capricorn. So yes, it looks like there's a big choice here. If you need that extra dose of encouragement, there you go, because this is what is on offer. Future's wide open if you're willing to leave the things that make you feel like shit, that make you feel poor, that make you feel destitute, that make you feel lonely, left behind, naked, unprepared, and the traditional out in the cold, which is my least favorite one. But anything that makes you feel like this, and this is a really, really shitty energy. Like, it's just the worst, because it's like full destitution and hopelessness. And this is whatever is making you feel bad like this. It's time to go. It's time to go, because that's what's on the other side. Remember, the World card is yours if you're willing to let go of what you're clutching onto. So no more. Okay, I'm done preaching, sorry. Hope this was helpful. I will see you, I guess, on Friday at this point. Have a lovely week. Take care.